Okay, welcome back to my video. So today, as I promised last time, I am going to show you how to bring the basket up. I hope you've been working on your first round that I taught you last week. So this week, we're just going to follow up on where we left off last week. And I worked a little bit on the one that we started together. So this one is looking really nice. And even though it looks like it has a little bit of a curve, that's not a big deal. When it sits on the ground, it sits more like that. So if yours looks like it has a little of a puffiness or, just protruding out, don't worry about that. That's completely normal. So I'm going to keep working on it. Right now what I've done is I've added the last of the spokes, so I'm not going to add any more. And so if I continue working on it, naturally it's going to start curving upwards. And that's what I want to do. And while I'm doing that, because I need to do this with you, while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. So I was born and raised in Kenya. And I came here as a young teenager to go to school. And as I was growing up as a little girl, I remember sitting at my mother's side and watching her do this. My mother sent a basket that she made for me when I was pregnant with our first child. And that is the basket right there. This means the world to me. And having something that my mom made, it's like priceless. So, and my daughter has already said, Mom, that someday that's gonna be mine. So I mean, it's a family heirloom. You pass it on. Something like this, something that might look like just a little, exercise with your kid. It might be like, hey, my daughter made that, or my son made that. We made that together. So, however you look at it, it's not just what am I making the baskets for. You can make these little basket with your kids, and especially now we have COVID. This is the perfect time to sit down with the kids and work on a project together. One of the things that I have done as a homeschooler is I would give my kids a project. And what I wanted to see them do is finish it. It may be something really, really tough at first, but when they finally get done with that project, you can see the pride in their eyes. And school kids at home right now, you have nothing to do. Mom, go to Hobby Lobby. Find some of these threads. This is what I use. And if you can get one started, go back to the first video and it'll give you small bits of instructions. My instructions are not that hard to follow. So do that with your kid. It doesn't matter how old they are. You can start with a 5-year-old. I started learning this when I was only 5 years old. So this is the type of ropes that I use. I get mine at Hobby Lobby, I said. And for the soft fingers, little kids, these are a little bit more softer. They're all cotton. These are a bit more, I want to say a little more tough, maybe for older fingers, and that's what I use. But the basket feels just the same. Once you get it done, it feels just the same, but this second kind here is super soft. So this is what I would recommend for younger kids. And it's, sorry. Okay, now, so as I was talking, I was hoping I'll get a little more done as I was talking. So what I'm going to show you is when you are ready for your basket to come up, like I said before, basket made out of willows, they usually use the technique called pinching. It's kind of the same here. What you do is as you go, when you grab your spoke, you want to make it nice and tight and pull almost with your middle finger. Has a little bit of a tag. Kind of you're trying to force it to kind of go break it. Well, you can't break a thread. You can break a willow. What do I want to say? You could break something that it stick. You can't break this. So you kind of give it a little tug. And then as you go on around and around, doing that little tag underneath there, and you're making a little more tighter than you were doing here. So this is a part that you're going to be a little bit more tight and a real good tug. And again, because you're not adding any more spokes, it's going to start curving naturally. You can see that already. In the second round, you even see it more, and on and on. And then, so I'm giving it, you can see it's already beginning to tag. This is pretty straight. This is curving it just a little bit, only because I'm giving it that extra tag like that, and just forcing it to bend a little bit, and a little bit by a little bit adds up, and eventually you're going to have something that looks like this. You look here, last week this is a basket that I was working on. I had a lot of stuff going on, so I didn't get to bring it as high as I wanted to, but you can see how beautiful this one looks. This is the one I was starting last week, and you can see how far I've come. And remember what we were talking about, the adding that you were doing throughout the week if you were weaving. You can see where we added those, and over here, and then another one over there. So, and then when I was done adding, I started doing the curving right around there, which is what I'm doing here. So this is fun. This is probably going to be something like a, I don't know, a wine bottle holder, a tiny little purse for a little person, something like that. It can be anything. Make something for putting your masks. We have all kinds of uses for these tiny little baskets. We have one in our study room that we use for pencils. If I know I need a pencil, I know exactly where to go. It's in that little basket that is just for pencils. So use it as an opportunity to do project with your kids. And also it's super therapeutic. When I'm feeling bored and don't know what else to do, especially now, I'll go upstairs and grab my basket and off I go. It's fun to work with. And again, these are just small projects that you can do. Look at that. It's already beginning to curve just a little bit. And a couple more rounds, you'll be able to see something very similar. So it's like that. And then sometime along the way, I want to show you how to add new main thread, because obviously you're not going to be able to work with one the whole time. It's very easy. Something else that somebody else brought up, and I thought was a brilliant idea, is you can actually take some cloth from your family clothing that either the children have outgrown, or you just like that fabric and you don't want to throw it away, and cut up into strips like this, you know, just about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch thickness, and use those. You can actually kind of embellish your basket with a piece of cloth string that was cut out of your family clothing or your child's clothing or something like that. Again, this can be passed on from family to family. This is why I love showing this to people who have little kids, because it'll be something they can say, hey, my daughter and I made that, my son and I made that, whatever, grandma and I made that. So you're seeing all the little techniques of doing this, you know, unraveling the thread, bringing the basket up. And then next week, our next video will be how to trim it. So keep working on yours. If you forgot how we did the first round, please go back to the first video. And if you have any questions, please just shoot them on under there for me, and I'll take a look and see where people are getting stuck on. This is looking beautiful already. It's going to be a cute little basket. Hopefully I can get it done by next week. And I'm actually going to add a little line on one of my daughters, a piece of cloth that she's outgrown and don't need it anymore. Here we go. I've already gone 2 rounds as we talked, and it's looking gorgeous already. This kind of thread or yarn, it's not really yarn, I wouldn't call it yarn because it's not as soft as yarn. I would not recommend using yarn simply because it's very thin. This is what you want. It goes faster and you can actually see your end result sooner. So here we go. You can see our little basket is already taken off. It's beginning to fold up. So little bit by little bit, before you know it, I'm gonna have a wall about this high, and this is only about I'm gonna say 6 inches wide in diameter, and maybe less, but I should get this done in about half an hour. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please just send them and I'll be able to answer them. Thank you so much.